So, mental work. Where are you at on the mental work? And when we say mental work, emotions go along with that. Everybody ain't on the same level of that. So you finding out where you at, you're working from there. To get your foundation built. Don't try to put yours with somebody else because they're different. Somebody might be stronger at exercise than you, and you might be stronger in meditation. See where I'm getting at? So if you're strong in meditation, maintain that strength in your meditation, but start working slowly and gradually on your exercise routine. And the person who got the exercise routine, you got that already, but you're kind of weak at meditation. Slowly and gradually work on your meditation. Don't try to keep up with the people who love it already. Because you'll get discouraged.
So now when you talk about mental work, that's all of the
negativities, blockages you can see, things you'll serve you no more, and a constant mental work goes on every day.
Outlets where we waste energy.
Waste
where
energy.
We overspend.
Energy economy, conservation of energy.
So I have a question about the programming the weight. So at some point I program myself to be at a certain weight and then to gain more. So I gain with the same intake of whatever I was taking, consuming. I gained like 10 pounds, but I couldn't stop it. It was kind of going, and recently I stopped.
Your weight is
And I
great.
really didn't do anything.
Did you program a number? Or you
Yeah,
said I want to be
130. And then I got to it, and it went a little bit further. But I didn't change anything to, how do I say it? So it was coming up to 143. And then I was doing everything the
I
same.
can answer that.
And I don't know what happened, but now it's stabilized, like, but so.
Programming is very powerful. Sort of like you got this college student got to cram these grades in, and you got to wake up in the morning, and before you go to bed, you can say, I want to wake up 4 in the morning, and it can happen. Program yourself. Body's very powerful. But on that type of level, programming is, how should I say, temporary. Because you're looking at it for an event or a situation. It's temporary. So when you first come into this programming, it is going to be temporary to the body. You're telling it to do something that probably your lifestyle ain't representing. But it'll give it to you. So that's why the next thing you do after the program is start working on a lifestyle to meet the program.
Okay.
Is that making sense?
Yes.
Other than that, goofy stuff will start taking place.
Well, for her lifestyle to gain weight, that means she would have to continue eating.
But
To
you
maintain.
weren't eating.
No, I was already taking just juices and eating, but very little and very, like, not too
But it's
often.
still temporary. It all depends. See, she's telling us our story, but we don't know the whole thing either.
Well, the thing is that I cannot, like, okay, when I programmed myself to gain weight, I got it, right? But then I said, okay, that's it. I should stop at that number, right? But body kept going, even though I didn't change anything about food. And then it stopped, like, I would say maybe 3 weeks ago.
And it's possible that
And then I don't know, I didn't change anything besides, I just started to talk a little bit more about.
all right, this is what I went through. This is what I gotta tell people. All right, here we go. There was a time I weighed 190 pounds. Face was round and everything. Here we go. But as I started to lose weight, and how did I lose weight? First was diet and exercise, very powerful. Let's just be clear. Changed the diet, left heavy foods alone, started to exercise, losing weight. Now, when I got down to 170, that's 20 pounds lost. I was a whole different person. All right? However, people who was used to seeing me all the time, are you all right? Are you sick? Because they're used to seeing you in that light. You're saying no, but people who don't know you or never met you would think you look good.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a perception. until they had to get used to seeing your new form. Now, and I'm on a breatharian journey at this time. So as I'm going on the journey, you stop eating or eat less, you're going to lose weight. You got that, right? Some people don't know that. They don't. They don't. So, as the weight is going down, when I got to 160, that's when I could see, not only I felt good, but I looked good. But if I got under that, I didn't like the way it looked. Now, before when I was going down to 160, they got used to my 170. They were still talking. Nope, but nobody really said nothing. But when it got to 160, that's where it was like the buzzer went off, keep it there. Now, how do I keep it there? The lifestyle that got me there, or what I consumed, or what days with the program going with it, made me stay there. I had to figure it out. I don't want to go back, but I want to stay there.
I figured it out just right now. I was stuck with the feeling gaining weight. You know, I remember when I was heavy, 20 years ago and sick. I remember that feeling, and this is how I recall gaining weight. But I didn't stop the feeling.
Here we go.
And then it kept going. I did program, hey, that's the weight, but the feeling was there. So I was even getting lighter with whatever I was consuming, but the feeling was there, so it was pushing me further, right?
Right. Now, on gaining weight,
Everything.
Yeah.
That's such a vibration.
now on gaining weight, this is what takes place. Because on that method, I could have kept going where it stopped. You understand? But do you like it, or do you want to gain weight? You can play from there. Now on gaining weight, it's still a program, but it's going to take another lifestyle. Now listen at this.
Yeah.
So I start working out, and in my mind, I'm looking at myself differently. Here, I'm looking at myself differently. That's what bodybuilders use. Instead of just lifting the weight, after you got finished lifting, you are looking at your muscle bigger than what it really is, and you're flexing it. You're flexing it afterwards. Your body's getting another program, and you're keeping a repetition going. So pretty soon, I started looking bigger than when I weighed.
Ah.
Bigger than when I weighed. Because somebody said, man, you look pretty big, la, 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 la. And then one day he picked me up and lifted me. Man, you're so light. That's an illusion. That's an illusion.
The body is the mind.
The body is the mind. But when I started that new lifestyle, working out and this and that, even on walking, there was a time you'll lose a lot of calories walking. You're not looking at it like that no more. I'm working out to get, because you got over 200 muscles moving. That's how you're thinking about it. Everything start getting stronger. Then you start thinking about yourself being healthier. It all start kicking in. It's a mind, but a lifestyle has to soon kick in with it.
Say that again. So while you were walking, you started telling yourself,
Wait, I'm getting stronger. This is for strength, not to lose. Compared to somebody who's walking to lose.
Yeah.
That's a whole
it's
different
big
ballgame.
one. Big one.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
How you're seeing yourself on every moment.
That's huge.
That start regulating weight. Now, and another one on regulating weight. What makes it regulate weight? We hear this. Now, this is the power of meditation. Now, we was all feeling these vibrations. We're talking about it. We're ooh, 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 ooh. Let's get deeper and see what's going on. Y'all ready? Oh, man, where do we begin? All right, where are we at here? These are called veins. Veins and arteries for the blood to go back and forth to the heart. And these we can see because they're closer to the skin, and I'm showing them to you. The legs. Da, 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 da. So we see those ones. But we talk about the foundation of our bodies being energetic, energy. Does it have a pathway? Just like this, or similar. I'm just asking y'all.
Does energy have a pathway?
Right.
The whole body is
The nervous system.
everything. Your muscles have energy pathways, your bones have energy
Subcutaneous.
So
pathways.
we need to talk about them.
Your nerves have
Would
energy
a-
pathways.
I've been wanting to ask you this question for a long time. It goes right on
You
with
have a
what
lot
you're
of
saying.
questions.
If you were to break a bone, you know, let me just be real. I had a vasectomy. Now, I had a vasectomy. Is that gonna mess up the energies flowing? Like practicing celibacy, if you can answer that. You know, practicing celibacy.
You see her talking to us,
And
so
wanted to
you got you full of energy, you just got another energy flow.
Okay. So if
We
something's
just
being
have-
cut or cut,
Energy
the
is
energy still just,
It doesn't matter if
mean.
you've had a leg removed. Energy is energy. You
Okay.
still have an energy body of that
Okay,
leg and the
okay,
chakras and
But look what Menorah says, she says, everything has energy
Yeah.
channels. Everything has energy channels, right? So we're getting this. So let's take it even deeper. But there is what you call main energy channels. See, when they talk about chakras, it's sort of like talking about the river. But then they got a word called nadis, where they're like canals branching out, like a tree, going throughout the body. Now that, first we're going to start there, because that's the important one.
Talking about meridians.
The meridians and stuff. First we're going to go there before the other ones, because the main one should be worked on this journey before the other ones kick in on what we're trying to do. Does that make sense? Get the main river up and running first to fuel the smaller ones. That's why in yoga, martial arts, and all these other places, they keep showing you the spinal cord. That is the center of your being. That's where the main river is at. That's where the focus is there. It will automatically push off to the other ones. Now, as it goes out from the main one, as we're working on this channel, they are mapped out. And I think I said they're the primal vascular system. So we got a circulatory system, we go on and on, the digestive system. We hear these different systems of the body. Those names we gave it, laid on top of each other. But many people didn't hear about the primal vascular system. Now, for those of you who haven't been listening, I'll give you the history. Now, Chinese medicine been had acupuncture going on. And notice that they always use a steel or something metal. You just don't use anything because it deals with electricity. So what you're doing is you're putting it into the pores or whatever, they got it mapped out, and they're manipulating, getting the energy going through there so it can activate an electrical energetic channel inside of the body. Now, when it first hit the West, they didn't understand that, because that's ancient stuff from the Eastern culture. But as time went on, somebody got to check out, well, what's making that practice work? Because it took a minute for people to understand. Now they say you got an electromagnetic field. Nobody's arguing that the human being conducts electricity. There was a time we didn't know that. But for that acupuncture practice to be around so long, how did they know that, for number one? And is that not accurate? Now, being in the scientific method, you just can't say something just because you say it's working. How is it working? Put it up. Where's it at? So a long time, people couldn't find what energetic system was making that happen. They got this map, but we don't see it. That makes sense, ain't it? We don't see it. But keep in mind that there was a time that doctors worked on cadavers that were bodies that were already dead. To do an autopsy to see which way. That was big business. We want to see what this body can, but where's that system, that map, that they're showing on an ancient thing, even though it's being used for healing? We can't accept it yet till we see how it works. Or it be some spooky magic or pseudoscience. We don't want to play that game. But there was a doctor in Korea who found it back in 1960, I believe, if not sooner. But he found it on a living cadaver, or a living person. That makes a difference. Checking living tissue from dead tissue. Now why is that? Because once a person dies or an animal dies, that energy channel, because they died because the energy left, is going to dissolve. Nobody could find it. But when he found it in the living person, That's where it's at. Bing. Now, keep in mind this doctor was from North Korea. America don't like North Korea, right?
Yeah.
So it ain't like they was gonna give him, pat him on the back right away. Matter of fact, they even say, legend has it, he disappeared. Never saw him again. Let's go take a walk. All right? We went through some things. But still, when you got some research out there that important, you know, your bias going to have to go to the side sooner or later. So people did start picking it back up, that research, and found out, it's there. So about the 80s, that's when it really picked up. They started saying it exists, you can't deny it, that's how science works. So that's when the medical field started to accept, the U.S. medical field accept acupuncture. Started in one location, but they found, and they call it the primal, which means first, vascular system. So it's a system that exists. But however, since how its conception came about, a lot of people don't know about it still. You know what I mean? But that's the reason why when you say more of the Reiki is in the hospitals, the acupuncture, that's because of that story. They found the system, so since we got the system on how it worked, we got something to work on. But you said another key point, how do we market it?
Is the primal system, is this the smaller one that you're talking about?
Well, what it's saying, if you ever get an acupuncture chart, you can look up an acupuncture chart. It is showing you from the head area, just like the roots of a tree, there's actually like a system, just like that's why I started off showing you my veins.
Mm-hmm.
It'll go similar to the pathways, even dealing on your central nervous system.
Okay.
That system is there, but that's the one that maintains the energy. Energy, that's why they name it primal vascular system. Primal means first.
Okay.
That's the first system, or the other systems ain't even in the ballgame.
So you say get the main rivers up and running first, like the spinal cord, and the primal vascular system?
That is the primal
Okay,
vascular
that is the
system.
primal.
Y'all see?
Gotcha.
So the Breatharian messages are talking nothing spooky or mythical. We're working directly with the primal vascular system. Is this making sense? So we're coming from the energy first to make chemical reactions. Everybody else who's coming with diet and stuff and medicine, they're coming with chemical reactions to activate the energy. That's all it is.
Then it comes to mental, and then it comes to emotional, and it's all
Yeah.
together.
Making sense now, huh? So that's why this is ancient knowledge, because what was the Pharaoh saying? The Ka, which is the energy body, the Ba being the physical body, the Ka sustain and maintain the physical body. So they was coming with the energy first to what? Control physical matter. But this system is using physical matter to control the energy, which is less. Because the energy, what? It's the primal. The other one, pretty soon you're going to run into what? Making more money in their eyes. So why should they teach you the energy part? But besides that, no, they're catching up. Right now, there's a thing called frequency medicine. And when you look at what they're saying, like biophoton therapy. Y'all ever heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
Biophoton therapy. Bio means life. Photon means light. Therapy. And what they're doing is taking light, putting it directly to the cells of the body so the cells can get more energy. So it can heal itself. So that should tell us something, right? They're manipulating what the primal vascular system. It's in there already. So we're using light to go there. So when we're doing these meditations, all of them, you're dealing with your primal vascular system. That's what's picking it up. This is good, ain't it? That's what we mean by going inside. You're going to because without that system, the other systems won't even work. You follow me? The other ones have trouble, but as long as the primal is up, all right. But if the primal go, that's where life is over. That's what left. And it dissolved. So you're making the primal vascular system the number one system in your life through meditation to fill it up so you can do more and have more energy. Now check this out. Let's get deeper with it. Now ready for it? This is the game changer. The primal vascular system is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. The bigger it gets. Does that make sense? If you don't use it, it'll stay skinny, just like an arm. Just like a leg. If you don't work out, you ain't gonna build no muscle. But if you work out, you'll get stronger. So the more you meditate, well, we can say your energy field will get stronger. Why did it? That's an indication that your primal vascular system gets bigger. It actually grew. More energy could go through it. It's a bigger river. So now, when they say, how can you have muscle without eating? I did it through meditation. Because the primal vascular system is bigger. And if it swells up, you can maintain and gain more weight. If it's still skinny, you ain't got nothing coming. Uh-oh. Are y'all catching this?
Yes.
I'm just saying.
But now, I gotta say something here, from my scientific mind here. Your muscles got bigger, but you also work out.
And I work out.
So we don't
I
know.
added them.
Do we really
She
know
right.
what really?
Because the muscles in our mind, to give them more fuel, that's why the people is in what, glucose and all this other stuff to give it fuel. But for me, I could have kept it normal. Right, I wouldn't have got bigger muscles if I wouldn't have worked out. You're right. But I decided to work out. But now what the people in the community is wondering, but where's you getting the energy for that muscle? But it's coming from the primal vascular system instead of from the molecular part of it. Remember we was talking about chemical energy comes from the breaking of the, what we say, the molecules. The molecules. Atomic energy comes from the nucleus of the atom. Two different energy sources. Oh, this is good. But you're right. The muscle got worked on, but where is it going to get its fuel? From the chemical, or is it going to get it directly from the atomic? So we just went to the atomic. But to get it still a muscle, working out took place. Or I just could have stayed normal. You know, anyway it went. Or is this making sense? I hope it is. But that muscle, now this is a good part. Muscle has weight to it. So when I wanted to gain weight, go get more muscle. Here we go.
It also gives you more energy, more prana.
More energy and more prana and more muscle. You want to be the best form of yourself.
Exercise.
And the thing about exercise and going with the atomic energy, you don't have to exercise as much.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have that sore feeling. That sore feeling when you eat, muscle sore, you know how it feels.
Inflammation.
But, yeah, that's right. But when you're on these levels, a body that has less or no body fat cuts up fast. It cuts up a muscle fast. So I can sit up there and do 50 push-ups and they're like, man, you've been, and it'll be like 3 days ago. You don't have,
I'm sorry.
you don't have to work out as much. Go ahead.
So now we gotta understand this now, because now we're gonna take the regular model, person that eats food, that's working out. They develop muscle. Of course, we know that, there's protein, there's a certain amount of, substance that they have to consume,
Get it out. Get it out.
to be, well, like you say, in the Western medicine, we say, well, you have to, if you're working out, you want to build muscle, you have to eat so much protein. Otherwise you really won't grow as well. I mean, because if you stress that muscle, it's going to grow. But if you really want to be a bodybuilder or whatever,
Eat a lot.
You got to eat a lot. You got to eat enough protein. But of course, you eat too much, it goes to body fat. So, but where is this bodybuilder with all this muscle? Because he's not meditating. He doesn't know,
Inflammation, you swelled up. And the reason
Well,
I boldly,
that's muscle though.
the reason why I boldly say this because I actually in my Breatharian retreats, that's what I usually get coming in here. Professional bodybuilder. That's somebody just working out. Professionals. And they admit now their body got tore up. That was just inflammation.
And marble more fat in
Yeah.
the muscle.
And I've noticed people that work out, they can work out for 10 years. Like on the fire part, these cats work out for like 10 years. These cats go on vacation for 1 month. And they lose all this muscle.
Yeah.
It that quick. I said, that ain't worth
It
it.
takes more work. So that's, in my mind, how I'm computing now, that's inflammation swelling. That's how I'm just saying it. So that's why even when I work out now, I don't use weights, I just use my own body weight.
But that's still weight.
Still weight, but let's let it be my own body weight so we won't overdo it and tear it up, scar it up. Take care of the vessel. It's sort of like if you run on your knees too much. You're sitting there getting older. Maybe you have to break it down to a walk.
Does that have anything to do with sleep?
Oh, let's go into the sleep. See, he's slick.
no.
Yeah, you got a lot to got a lot to do with sleep.
Quick question before you get into his. When she spoke about the protein, you did a video where you spoke about how the sun hits the skin and your body converts it to protein. Like you create your own
Oh,
protein.
check this out. Well, protein is a deep word. People use that word, but
Because you broke it down, you gave the actual scientific breakdown.
we learned that word from the system.
Right.
It's a word.
Mm.
Here we go. You ready to rip it up? Now, how I ran into it, I did run into a dictionary one time. Protein, definition. Carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, and nitrogen. What do that sound familiar with?
Yeah, carbon,
The
oxygen,
air.
nitrogen, hydrogen.
The air. Now, there's a company over in, so we can make a long story short, Sweden. And they will say they're making food directly from the air. We're in a good age now. This stops all the battles. See, we believe it when technology do it, but for us to do it, we can't see it. And I'm trying to get y'all's mind to know this is technology. And they're boldly telling you, but we got the machine that can make protein directly from the air. Carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen. It's always been the air. So when people say that out their mouth about protein, and like they're so smart, you don't even know what protein is. It's always been the air. It's the air now. Pro just means first. And teen, think it means substance. I don't know in Latin or whatever, but pro means first. And what is first? It's giving life. It's the air.
Mm-hmm.
You'll die without breathing a lot quicker than you would not eating or not drinking.
And we talked in our last retreat about how birthing gives you antioxidants.
Yeah, I mean, this whole environment is giving us things, but if you're blind to it or don't know it, you're missing it. And of course, the body went through another cycle. That's why it's a need to have a transformation to get everything online with it so you can know it. Your fear will break as time goes on. You don't have to go too fast. But understand that you're working with the energy first compared to the chemical. That's why meditation is so important. To get these energy faculties to grow, get that primary. That's why yoga. The main goal of yoga is breath. Listen at this. Why? I'm just stretch, I'm flexible. Listen to the point. It's the breath. What do you mean by breath? Well, you start making that connection, the air. All right, what do you mean by the air? It's protein, the primary substance. What else is it? Uh-oh. Y'all ready to take it further?
Yes.
It's consciousness. How can you say it's consciousness? Because for you to what? Focus on your knee. You're focusing on it. The blood will start going there. The heat will start going there. Breathe into your knee. The breath will start going there. And then when you think here, it's going here. The breath follows the mind. Because the mind is breath. Are y'all following this? God breathed into Adam and he became a living soul.
Oh, snap.
Uh-oh. He was a yogi, wasn't he? He breathed into him. He was full of consciousness. Mind-body connection. Mind-body energy connection. hook your mind up thinking energetically. You don't have no physical body. The physical is always following the mind. Oh man, are we saying this?
I went from this lady said she had breast cancer. She said her breast failed her, so she just cut it out.
Ah!
I was like, oh no.
Ah! Her breast failed her.
Yeah, her breast failed her, so she removed it from her. I was like,
That's how people think. That's the results of it.
I sure wanted to pull her to the side.
This is powerful, ain't it? Now, just these days, from us working on the energetic level, we've been working with some energy, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
You can't say that. Oh man. But you see, the results coming from the energy, really, and that's what they meant by life energy is in you, but you must put the body in the life energy. That's what we've been doing this week. This is what that means by you're putting your body into the life energy. See, this Berkabot didn't shut it down yet. Wait a minute. Let's cut it down a little bit more. Let's go the speed of light. All right, cut it down just a little turns at a time. I don't want everybody to be like this and say, what's wrong? The energy's still moving. Yeah. That's how powerful. Now, why is it moving still? Our minds made it do that. See how we did that? We all had the pyramids moving, even when we weren't thinking about them. That's technology. Are y'all catching this?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. So the air must be alive. Or is the air your mind? See where we're going with it? So if the air is your mind, this is your mind, it should be sustained. Any way you want to take it. Oh, man. See how we working this? That other stuff just takes up your time. You wouldn't even know what a vitamin was till somebody didn't tell you. Wouldn't even know. That's wild, ain't it? There was cultures all over the planet living on the beach. They weren't there about no vitamins and minerals. What's that, omega-3? Well, that's a program, though. And once your mind focused that you need it, it will cause results.
Mm-hmm.
You only go to the doctor when you lost energy. When you lost energy some type of way, that's when you go to the doctor. And he'll figure out a way, chemically, to give you more energy. But you would never go to him if you would have never lost energy. Why should you? You know how a person say I'm vitamin D deficient?
Mm-hmm.
What made them do that? Because they was losing energy. But if they didn't never go to the doctor and never lost energy, they're not vitamin D deficient. I'm just saying. You would have never went. So it's all about energy again. If that organism got energy, why need to go to the doctor? And it ain't kidding itself, it got it. It's living in it, huh?
But then you go and then they find all these deficiencies.
Oh yeah,
You go.
here we go, just like a car mechanic. Well, they don't know about the car, so why not? But if you know the car, but 9 times out of 10, if you really know this vehicle, doctors is using it for me. We ain't making them into the enemy. When I was on my journey, we had to get mandatory checkup on my job. All right, here we go. They called me crazy until we went to the doctor. The doctor looked me over, took the blood, all this other stuff, and he said, whatever you're doing, keep on doing it. Why should he keep you? But those people who was laughing, we got to talk for a minute. I can't leave out like he did. No, we got to talk.
These high blood pressure things.
Then they come back to work acting like they're having a bad day, mad because what the doctor told them. I said, don't act like that now. You was all on my case before. No.
Back on the protein thing, though, and maybe you can expound upon it, how we learned at one point in time where also protein was synthesized in the intestines as well, in the digestive tract. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Well, we used to do those little side studies.
You think that's true?
in our study, well, it depends how we determine that name, protein. Because keep in mind, when you look at oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen, what is those? Those on the periodic table. You got all the elements already in you. So of course your body's synthesizing it. Here we go now. Sort of like nitric oxide. Now listen at this. We need oxygen. But the air only has 21% oxygen. What about the other elements? What are they doing to you? Nobody never told you. Now nitrogen is 78% of the air, I believe. It's up there. Don't you need nitrogen? Nobody says that. But you would die without nitrogen. It's important. Now what is nitric oxide? That's nitrogen and oxygen put together, and that's created, those two elements come together through this system, the olfactory system. So your body just synthesized something that you need. If you didn't have it, you'll die. See what the body's doing? It took elements and put them together without your permission so it could stay alive. It's already in the air. I ain't making it up. I mean, we need to think. You probably fooled me once, but not this time. I learned how to read now. Oh, man. I could go on and on with those examples.
Well, they have said that, you know, the proteins are, well, you know, the amino acids are the building blocks of proteins, and amino acids are nitrogen. It's nitrogen.
Here we go again. I mean, we can go on and on and on. But the more you get this information to compare it with the other, it ain't like it's hidden. You got to read into it. That's why when I be taking y'all through different scriptures or different, we start reading into it. Science is the same way. Are they really lying to you, or you better read into it? You'll see it. Okay. Because in their mind, I really didn't lie to you. You just didn't want to see it.
Like what's it? Bodybuilding, they say like the endos what explodes your muscles, right? Your muscles bigger, but if you just do some push-ups, you just build it yourself.
You build it yourself, right there. Listen at that. And then when I threw that visualization in it, get some of your professional athletes who really talking. They using this. I got to see myself. There was one athlete who said something very important. Because a lot of people don't think this way. He got him on the side, a coach to help him with his mental mind. A coach to help him with his mind. Because he said, a person can see when something's physically wrong with you, but they cannot see when something's mentally wrong with you. That's wild, ain't it? But he did that. Who was that? Not Tom Brady.
Shaquille O'Neal.
He probably did it too.
Yeah,
A lot of them do it.
Most of them do have medical psychologists.
Right, get this mind. And that's what we're dealing with. No different. See, on spirituality, that's why I say you got to learn science. They try to come into it with no mind. Because that's how we've been taught, with those words. No, you need a mind. To look at things differently, to tweak it. Oh man, did I say that? To program things. To give it new meaning. And no mind just said, now leave it alone. You created your creative force. Oh man, are we saying this?
And we do biological transformation or whatever. Alchemy in the body. It's like the chicken who they fed no calcium, yet they still have calcium in their shell.
Here we go. We got to look at these things. Just don't let it fly out the window. No pun intended. Fly out the window.
We make what we need.
We make what we need. We got to know this. So, but you're taking it. Our minds are so powerful. Now we got to give. All right, I'll pat humanity on the back. That's why it takes a baby. When we have a baby, it takes it longer to be taken care of than other animals. You know, I seen this one where. What you call those antelopes out in the African safari? The day he was born, dropped out of his mother. About an hour after that, he was being chased by lions. Poor thing. He got away too. He was like,
Life lesson number 1.
life lesson number 1.
Quick on your feet.
As a matter of fact, it was an hour, but you know how the cameras on them? They said it's been 30 minutes now, 30 minutes before he was born. He better hurry up and get up. He was like this, and you see some little lions coming around. They're like, he better hurry up. 40 minutes. 50 minutes. Then all of a sudden, that hour, he was running for his life. They was on him, boy. He had to grow up quick. But we as humans, we need more time to develop because we're a more complex organism, but your mind is also more dynamic. It needs more training.
I'd also like to say something that as long as you're eating food, you're going to have nutritional imbalances because different foods knock you off balance in different ways. So, yeah, so be mindful of that when you're, as long as you're still on the food path, there's going to be some corrections that will be needed.
Right.
Here and there.
Beautiful.
And that's good she said that. Like, she used the word food imbalance, right? The laws of physics. The laws of physics is always going to be playing out. Uh-oh, that's coming in. How is the law going to react to it?
And I can give you an example. So I did like a juice fast that I had done for several months. And when I came out of that juice fast, I was craving butter like you would not believe. Now, I'm a long-term vegan, so to crave butter is like the most grossest thing, right? And I was like eating it by the slice, just thinking, what is wrong with me? So I got on the internet and I said, well, what is in that butter that my body needs? And I found out it was like K something, some vitamin, right? I don't remember what it was now. So I said, well, what's a vegan source of this? And I found out there was this thing called natto, which is like fermented soybeans. And so I thought, okay, so I'm going to go find this natto. I ate the natto for 1 week, and that craving disappeared, and all my food cravings just went away. And I went back to being really balanced and low calorie and all that good stuff. So, so when you do certain dietary changes, or even whatever you're eating now, notice what your cravings are and go deep and be like, well, what is in that
What is
that
that?
I'm looking for?
The food
and
game is
balance
deep.
yourself out.
You
Food
done,
goes deep.
food game, you're dealing with some big witchcraft.
But then once you
That's big game.
once you become really chronic, then it's almost like it doesn't matter what you eat because you're so chronic that you can eat a little bit here and there and it doesn't hurt your balance, if that makes sense. So it is kind of like it's balancing.
Well, I like how she said this too, to fill it in. Because they got that term says a yogi can eat poison and it won't affect them. Well, what they're getting at, I was doing an online retreat this morning to Z. He said, yeah, which position should I be in so I can get my furnace right? Because I told him that this is the furnace. It's hot. The heat is right up under here. It's always boiling, full of water. Things getting burnt up. So the more you keep this, how should I say, pure with less toxicity, you understand? It's heated up inside, but it's burning more bright. So when you do, what happens when you put something in a fire and it's strong? It'll burn up quicker. Am I making sense?
Yes.
It'll burn up quicker. The fire is really booming. You putting something in there, it's going to get rid of it a lot quicker than if it was like a low fire and all this ash is on top. You know what I mean? It'll smother. This is what we're saying. So usually when a person's on a pranic diet like that, and they do something, do get compromises their system, it won't stay there as long.
It's true, and it doesn't have the same effect. So I went from being
Burnt it up.
hypersensitive to all foods to being like, oh, I could eat that or that with zero effect.
It'll burn it up.
Because I got myself so clean.
That's what they mean by
So
your
balanced.
internal fire. This is what you're using. See, at first we're working with the Merkaba and all of this, but it's activating this inside, our primal vascular system. Firing it up, just like a machine. And the more you get this machine up and running, that's what they mean by a stronger immune system. What is that? That gut, right. Strong immune system. That's why some people, like we say, we even know just by common sense, if you got a group of people and cut them off from food, they don't even know nothing about this. The weaker die first.
The more toxic the die first.
Yeah, the more toxic the die first. Here we go.
The cleaner you are, the longer you can fast.
Oh, man.
Wow.
This is getting good. And all you're doing is learning these other things of getting more knowledgeable. To work on yourself and put them down. You're doing a great artwork. Your body's a great artwork. This is good, ain't it? And you're already perfect. That's wild, ain't it? Why would we say that? Because you're under universal laws. Don't they do things perfectly? They're working with you perfectly, so they're working with a perfect organism.
Would you say the cleaner you are, the less sleep you need to?
Oh,
That was rhetorical. He just playing. He just playing.
I'm not playing.
he's serious.
He said we might as well get into it.
I would, yeah.
All right, here we go.
Y'all kind of want the protein.
Now that is.
Kind of want sleep.
Yeah. The more prana you have in the body, the less sleep you'll need because you'll just feel high all the time. You'll feel awake. It's really about the energy.
Okay.
This is how they say, because keep in mind, I don't teach that the whole human family just automatically popped on the planet being prana. I can't. There's too much other stuff out here. No. This is actually a technology that somebody came upon. It came at a certain time period. We've been here a long time. But as our consciousness grew, people grew.
Sounds like you're talking about evolution to me.
Right.
The brain.
All things. This is evolution. This is evolution. If these have evolution, from where it got to now, it just didn't pop here. It got in history. Everything does. That's just evolution. It just means change. Can we see that? And when we look at society, hasn't it evolved? It evolved. So evolution, that's what it is. Because without understanding what evolution is, it'll throw you off again. It'll lead you back in a mythical thought that doesn't work. So, where was we with sleep? That's what brought up this technology, because the conversation was two things. Why do we sleep and why do we die? Somebody had this conversation. That's how I had to start out. Why? Then everybody started putting it together. And I remember I was at a party one time. It was eating hard. Step number 1. Step number 2. The bathroom had a line in front of it. It was a family get together. Step number 3. Everybody was taking a nap. Put them to sleep. So the conversation in the past, as they have it in Balalar's writing, was putting people to sleep. The conclusion came out, as everybody done their synopsis, food. Food is putting the human being to sleep. Don't we call death sleep?
Mm-hmm. This is what you sleep.
Food is putting everybody to sleep.
We call that a food coma.
So that's how the technology started. Is there a way to challenge this? See, that's what makes you a scientist. A scientist looks at a problem. Can we figure that out? We're some smart creatures. This is something, ain't it? So that's why you got to ask yourself and have a real good conversation with yourself. Is there a way that I could sustain myself with no food, no water, and no sleep? Is there another energy source there to take this place? That's how it starts. You're just asking yourself a question. This is how it started. So they started to challenge it. Step by step. Then, lo and behold, as they started, and they'll tell you today, sleep is for the regeneration of the brain. To re-energize the brain. Don't you notice the healthier you are, the less sleep you need. The more toxic, the more sleep. I'm just going at, I'm trying to hit it full circle.
Thank you.
People started working on it. Well, what happened if I get a little bit more pure? How much sleep do you need? How much sleep do you need?
Mm-hmm.
There was a time it was 10 hours a day. You needed 8 hours. Now they down and say, okay, 6 would be good. There's some team in Russia said the person that sleeps less lives longer. I'm just saying, it's out there. But how do we do that sleep less? Well, if you put both of them together to eat less, you know, and stay healthy, you know, you got that diet, okay, you'll sleep less. So people start playing with it. And as we talk about our foundation, exercise, you're really exercising when you're getting some energy, you're getting stronger. You're really taking a look at your food intake. I'm just not eating anything or taking out, I'm taking care of this. Now those two things right there, you'll have more energy, right? Or it sounds like it, doesn't it? And I think you'll sleep less. In the beginning, you'll probably sleep a lot because you're breaking it down. You put that diet and that exercise together. That's why diet and exercise is the first initiation of spirituality. What is spirituality? What is spirit? Breath. You got more breath. Now you start meditating. We've been meditating, working with some energy, haven't we? Where is it coming from? Well, the air. You know, we're talking. But then when we look at, where are you at? Where are you at? Yeah, you felt them over there, don't you? Looking at everybody with all seeing eye. Giving energy to everything. Even these plants, we talk about how much energy and power they got. Where is they getting their power from? People started questioning this. Well, the plants can get the power straight from that. How about me? Go ahead.
There's these things called air plants. You can order them off of Amazon, but they actually grow here in Arizona, where they
air plants.
Yeah, air plants. They need nothing.
They need nothing.
You just plop them somewhere. But if you have them in the house, you spray them once a week with distilled water. They grow and they grow and they grow, and it's like.
I bet it's straight off the air. See, we're looking at this.
Straight off the air.
They call it air plants.
Yeah, air plants.
But everything is here.
Yeah.
And the energy from the sun is in here.
Yeah.
They'll tell you right now that in a room, there's 100 volts electricity in a room, right in the air. But, you know, they just saying 100.
Is that all?
Well, it's a lot, 100 volts. But at the same time, you said a good question. That's just something the deer machines told them it could do. I bet it's a whole lot more.
Yeah, because we were at 114,000 or something like that.
But that's a lot, 100 volts. You don't want to put your finger on it.
No.
You know, just to
Well,
start.
we're like 100,000 volts.
Right. But just to start there, just to get people activated, to know that there's a lot of power in the air. That's number one on a breatharian journey. Most of humanity don't even know that much power is in the
Especially
air.
during the storm.
Especially during the
Because
storm.
the Schumann resonance is about measuring the atmosphere during storms. That's why it was created. So whenever there's thunder, lightning, and all of that, you've got more energy, more electricity in the environment, and you can tap into that during a storm and bring it into your body, and it's so amazing.
All this free energy. Right in there.
But it's interesting what's elevated during a lightning storm. Do you know what's increased during a lightning storm? Anybody?
What you say?
What
Nitrogen.
is increased? Yeah.
Here we
during
go.
a lightning storm.
So she's on the nation. Give her a round of applause. She's on and you know what up? Like Dr. Doolittle. But this is how you have to start talking about it. This conversation happened long enough ago to bring this technology. It started off, why is we sleeping? Why is we dying? But somebody had time on their hands. That's the main thing about the journey. Give yourself more time so you can think. That's why they keep everybody busy trying to survive. You can't think.
That's it.
The first thing I did when people ask me, the first thing you did to get you on a breatharian journey? I had to give myself more time. Before that, I was too busy chasing money, 2-3 jobs, hustling. Right, that's just what I did. This gonna make me better and this. No, you need more time. Okay, let me just work this. If I can't afford it from this, I don't need it. That's what I'd rather think. Why am I sleeping? What's putting me to sleep? That's where it starts. Oh man, you see how we digging?
Mm-hmm.
And then we started diet, exercise. Let's give them a name. This is Boo. We call him Boo. He started dieting, exercising. Now he started meditating. Dealing with all this energy in the atmosphere. He won't have less sleep, ain't he? He should. He doing some exercise where he got the strongest body he ever had in his life. A diet that's on point. Now he started meditating. All that energy. He Merkabah. How you think he gonna be? Sleep gonna get less. Healthier, stronger, better thinking, all of this stuff. But then he started learning how to fast. He ain't that hungry now no way anyway, because he's meditating now. Uh-oh, did we say this? He started doing a microcosmic orbit and stuff, working on his energy channels. So now he's coming in to fast. He started out once a week. He's in the cycle. First day was hard. Second week was hard. Third week was hard. Then one day he forgot to eat. Now he's we building something, ain't we? We can see it. So he's still exercising. Still watching what he put in his body, but now he got fasting added in. He take days off and all this stuff, cleaning himself out, feeling good. Then he meditating every day. He up there qigong up on the mountain. Right! Dealing with what? The electrical forces is all in the atmosphere, coming from the sun, all of this stuff. Then last but not least, he started working on his mind. Why do I need to think negative? Well, negativity got to be in the world. Don't people say that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it got to be here.
Mm-hmm.
This is my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Negativity would make you hungry and tired.
Right! Why am I worried about this and that? He started working on his mind. So from when he first started, this is a being who exercises. He getting it in. Diet. Really taking it to another level. Then he started cutting back, fasting. Now he's doing, 7 days here and all this other stuff. Keeping this once a week going on. He did a 30-dayer before. He rolling, but still exercising and all this other stuff. Even when he broke his diet and ate something, he made sure it was still like keeping the system running. Meditating every day. He didn't drop a day in 2 years. Uh-oh. And then he thinks nothing but positive, happiness, love. That's the way he thinks. How you think his reality gonna be? Somewhere else.
Energetic.
And when it comes down to sleep, you don't even see it now, do you?
Mm-hmm.
You ain't gonna have a pizza. I'm sorry. It ain't even in his vocabulary. You know why? Because he ain't being mean. He just don't like going to sleep. So since he ain't got to sleep that much, guess what? He got all these other projects he can work on.
Yeah.
All this time on his hands.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why he was working so hard before, because he had to keep on buying food.
Mm-hmm.
Now he ain't got to buy that much food, so now he work part-time. Because he wants to.
You giving us your life story.
Yeah! First he had 2 jobs, then he went down to 1. Now he work part-time. He ain't stupid. You know what I mean?
and then he probably realized the things that he used to pleasure himself or to make him comfortable and happy, those things probably started to fall off.
They fell off.
So that saved something.
Because he figured out that kept putting him back to sleep.
Yes.
Kept putting him back to sleep. He went through a little phase. We made it look like this, but no. He had to figure it out on his own. If I leave that alone and don't let that I got more energy. Oh, okay. I'm healthy, vibrant. I can live a long time.
Probably stop chasing women.
Right.
And he's looking up like, damn.
But I was putting him to sleep.
Yeah, I was putting him to sleep. Thank you.
Or this could be a female. We just named it Boo.
Yeah.
Men was putting me to sleep.
Yeah. all that drama and fighting and back and forth and judgment.
So this is a whole nother thing.
Knocking you out.
Then he decided He got so much energy from all those years of meditating, exercising. His mind is on key. He forgot to eat. He was over here for like, what, 6 months. You know, he forgot. That's all. That journey wasn't hard, was it? We had to see it now. We had to put it out there. This is what you're working with. Oh man, you can do all types of things. Wow. That's wild, ain't it? And his body, his whole body works with light, works with energy. That's what you're studying and saying. Man, even when we deal with minerals, what is it? Potassium, magnesium, what's the other one?
Calcium.
And all that.
You got all that in
But
your
then
body
you start
too,
looking at that and say, oh, those are on the periodic table. Okay. Those are metals. Okay. Metals carry a charge. Okay. Your body already had those in it. Oh. Since they got a charge, I can get those charges to, if I get them flowing, those charged particles, then it becomes a current. The charge is there first, but if once they move, it becomes a current. So I can use the metals in my body through meditation to get a current going to strengthen my electromagnetic field. I don't need no external minerals. I'm not a rock. They're already in me. All elements on the periodic table is in your body. Period. That's wild, ain't it? That's why they say the universe is in you. They didn't say it just to make it up.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to know how to use the equipment. Really not, just like my iPhone here. Okay, I'm just learning some things about it, but I really do got a friend that could do some things with his iPhone that'll blow your mind. That's just, he just digged into it. I like, you did that with my phone? Right. Is that my phone or did you swap me? Serious.
You don't know how to use your own technology.
Don't know how to use my own technology because I just use it for basics. You know, but he spent hours, put some time, energy, took it to another level.
Mm-hmm.
I like that phone could do that. You know what I'm talking about, Andrew.
I know. He's the one who set up our channel.
And he even said, this is what Andrew said, this is a good age we live in. With this technology, we can be free. That's how you thinking. And he's out there a minimalist with a bike,
Yeah.
camping everywhere, wear the same clothes every day, but he got this.
Yeah.
He could do some stuff. So he ain't even take the technology like a regular spirit. That's why I'm talking to everybody. Don't take this, you don't need to take it away. It's just an extension of a tool, how you use it. Mm-hmm. Put them together and boost it even further. Uh-oh, did I say this? Mm-hmm. And you so powerful, yeah, you don't need this. But since it's here, learn how to use it. Then you say today you can get your business on here and be flying somewhere else. Mm-hmm. It ain't your enemy. Everything you learn how to use it.
And then
mainly yourself.
And I know some people, they try to stay away from like electronics because they talk about like the EMFs and all that stuff. With us doing this work, would that help to protect us from that?
Oh, let's talk about that. There we go now.
I can tell you a couple things because I'm really sensitive to EMF and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have to use a selfie stick and things like that and not touch my phone that much. But when I came here to Sedona, just being in this vortex energy,
Mm-hmm.
I can totally touch my phone and handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the energy of the environment is so high vibe and it's so higher frequency.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on where you are will definitely determine how the energy is felt in your body.
Mm-hmm.
And over time, it won't matter so much with your body, right? Because you can handle it all fine. I'm still sensitive to it,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm getting a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how it works. Okay, everybody crying about the 5G, right? What they used to is cool down now.
Yeah.
It was like, it's gonna kill you. They set up a tower and 500 people fell out. You know, I mean, oh, there they go. And all of a sudden nobody says, it's something I be wanting to call somebody up. What was all that stuff you was talking about? All these people gonna die when they get, I'll be wanting to say that so bad.
But I don't know about the towers, El, but there was this town where they had put those high tension wires through that town, and 50% of the people developed some kind of cancer. 50 or more.
All right, well, let's get into radiation.
Well, that was radiation versus EMF.
They're the same thing.
Hmm.
Here we go.
Yeah, it was different.
Electromagnetic frequency, EMF is radiation. So now this is why we gotta get educated on this being breatharian, so we won't be scared. Here we go. Y'all ready for the story of radiation?
Mm-hmm.
Now first we live in an electromagnetic field. Electromagnetic spectrum. This is what we're living in. And this is radiation. You get radiated all the time, every single day. All of your life, you will continue to so. Matter of fact, you get so radiated, every year you have more and more radiation every year just by living. Scene number one, ding, so we won't be scared. Now, we turned on the radio. We all jam on some music. But that's radiation, which is light. Radio waves. Is it affecting our bodies? Of course it is. Are we crying about it? Well, not now. But when it first was invented, there was a small little group who said, man, just like the G5. That's how he was talking, but nobody wanted to hear it because that was an invention and never been around. We can listen to some music. So this got squashed. Not by the government, by the people. I really have some music then. If I gotta get radiated, so what? Oh man, now did that change the human body? Because keep in mind, there was a time that the biggest noise a person heard in their lifetime was probably from an organ, a church bell, or some lightning. Or a candle, before that even got invented. Can you imagine? That's the highest noise you ever listen to. You can imagine it. But now we take on way more than that noise, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Horns, trains,
Planes,
planes.
helicopters, yeah.
Did that change you? Yeah, of course it did. There ain't nobody crying about it. You're still alive, ain't you? We still talk about immortality. That's evolution. You're way different than a person who didn't experience that in their lifetime. Your evolution. And everybody have a whole lot more radiation in them now than our ancestors in the past. What you gonna do?
Ground.
We'll bring that up. Now, dealing with the radio wave, going real long. Then we got microwaves. The microwaves is usually where the internet and all that stuff is at. And also our famous microwave oven. But check this out. The reason why we got microwaves on the spectrum, was it really there? We only made it because we got equipment that uses that. Right, it was already there, but it was already a radio wave. It was just considered a radio wave. So they said, one day somebody just said, okay, this is the radio wave. Let's take this portion and this portion, just call it a microwave. Uh-oh. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, but here's the thing, like you say, it's already in the air. The microwave, all of that's already in the air. But when it gets manipulated and when it becomes mechanized and concentrated and put in that oven.
It's another change. Nobody's arguing that.
But isn't that what makes it harmful?
Talk about the food itself. Oh, but let's see how a microwave works. You see on that microwave window, it got a shield there. Mm-hmm. And it got holes in it. You see those holes in it? Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. That measurement in that hole is what makes it a microwave. You rip that off, it's no longer considered a microwave. Because the radiation has to pass through that hole at a certain diameter. So we don't know this. That's why it's a microwave. It's because it's more congested. You took bigger light and brought it down in the tube light and made it stronger. So now it becomes a microwave. Mm-hmm. So what makes that a microwave is that sheet across there with the holes in it. But it's just radiation.
Wow, I never knew that.
We gotta learn these things now.
Yeah.
That's why the Egyptians had the name Ra. R-A, radiation. Radio, radius. What else starts with that? all those things that radar, radiation. You are radiated beings. We just use the word light. You know, being in the spiritual community, we can change it to radiation and be just as accurate. We're the children of the radiant ones. Radiant is all dealing with light. Radiator. Then we got infrared. Listen to that. Infra just means under the red. See, red is the lowest vibrational color you can see with your eyes. Under that is infrared. You can't see it with your eyes, but it's still there. But it's radiation. And everybody radiates infrared light. You ever heard of that? Infrared. That's why you can't see it, but everybody glows. We got machines that can show you that. So it's at the infrared level, so you radiate radiation. You already radiated radiation. So why should you be scared of radiation if you're a radiated being? Now, the level that's really what we're talking about is ionized radiation. That's the one with the nuclear bombs and stuff. Okay, if we ain't saying you're going to go take that.
Or the X-rays, correct?
And the X-rays, well, that's a good invention because the bones blocked it, so we can make a picture out of the bones to see if the bone is broken. The rest of it went through the body. But this is what we say. You remember I said every year you get radiated every day. So about at the end of the year, you at least have a minimum of 36 X-rays every year. So we can't say block off X-rays like that. You got enough radiation that will be up to a minimum of at least 36 X-rays every year. That's why the Breatharian journey, once you understand it, this is why meditation is so powerful. The more you age, the more radiation you should be able to take on and stronger. Did we say this?
You said age, not get old.
I said age, not get old. Old is a disease. Age is just a number of rotations you've been on this, wherever you at, getting radiated. It's what's up under the hood. Oh man, are we saying this? Oh,
So
that's why you're learning how to get in alignment with the light. So as you age, making your circle, your little cycles, as you age and you get more radiated, you should drop off the food. Actually, it should be easier the older you get.
It is.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I just told him it should be easier for him because he's starting so young.
Yeah, she had to like, sorry. Yeah, he's starting young. He got a good, right. So that means he can what? Cultivate his energy, live his life without no denials, live a good, healthy life. And then once you live and you're satisfied, you can let those things down because you already experienced them and go ahead and just be a radiated being and go into another existence. Huh? Only reason why a person keep getting married over and over again because they didn't like how the last one turned out. Maybe I can do this again so it can be. But if you're satisfied with it, you don't need to go back. Okay, have your fun with the cookies. Does that mean you got to eat them forever? Once you're satisfied and said, that was all right. I ate plenty of cookies just now. I'm about done now. Now you can move on and don't need to come back. Oh, man. Didn't deny yourself for nothing.
Or pizza.
Or pizza. Right. Look at the biggest one.
Something just clicked for me when you were talking about how, we're still here after all this radiation.
Yeah.
So there was 1 year of college. I think it was my first year of college. And I was living in a nice just a tiny little apartment. And, I had no idea about health, nutrition, anything, nothing. But for a whole year, and this is why I have to pat myself on the back and thank my body for keeping me alive, against all odds. Because I was, those cup of noodles?
Yeah.
I knew you were going to say
You knew this, right?
I knew you were going to say ramen noodles.
The ramen noodles.
Nasty,
So
salty,
it already had sodium. it already was full of sodium, but I added hot sauce, I added all sorts of stuff. So these cups of noodles, I would, since they were cheap, you know,
Right.
since it fit my budget or whatever, I used to eat these cups of noodles every single day for a year.
Right.
And that was my source. And so I used to put them in the microwave,
Right.
put tap water in the cup of noodles,
Right.
radiate the noodles in the microwave, and it took me years to figure out that there was a little symbol on the styrofoam, because it was styrofoam,
Right.
the cup. It said it on the symbol. After years of eating this, I looked on the styrofoam cup and it said, "Do not microwave."
And most people do it too.
Yes.
And so since I wanted it quick, that's what I was doing, because I couldn't wait, you know, to just boil the pot of water on the stove.
Right,
and put it in.
right.
So it was like, because I wanted to, you know,
Here we go.
and I was like, wow, all those years,
All those years, and his body took care of him.
they took care of me.
Universal laws was in place.
I don't know how, you know, I can't
Oh,
explain
man.
it.
Well,
Yeah.
he was young. I mean, his body was strong, his energy was
Right.
strong, and everything.
See
He
what
could
I'm
do
saying?
that kind of
The,
stuff.
the one he was just saying, if you can, please don't do it. It ain't like they're gonna kill you that, because they made it real small on the symbol. Yeah, Sam. You alright.
It might have took a week approach, like if he had diabetes and all
Ah,
that.
right.
Then
So-
it would have
You'll
took
clean that out. You'll clean that out. You know, when I did a really deep colon cleanse once, I had emotions come up during that cleanse that I hadn't felt since I was a child. So I was going in and cleansing out stuff out of my digestive system that had been there since my childhood.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Was it
'cause-
a colonics or was it a series of colonics or what were you doing?
Oh, it was something that's not available now,
Okay.
unfortunately. But it was called Blessed Herbs, and it was herbs that you take and you give yourself enemas every night, and you get rid of the mucoid plaque, so that keeps you from being clean. Basically, if you have that in your
Familiar.
system, and as that was all being released, I was feeling emotions that I hadn't felt since I was young. I remember thinking, "Wow, this isn't my normal emotion. What is this coming up?" And then I remembered the time when I was like 10 or whatever that I was feeling it. So as you do these cleanses, you're gonna go deeper and deeper and deeper into all the layers of all the stuff you did in college, all the stuff you did with zero, and you just kind of work through it all. But you'll eventually release it.
And last but not least, how we doing these meditations, working with the light now, that detoxify you.
Oh, and I want to say one
Without
more
a
thing.
doubt.
I became exponentially more psychic after that. It was a trip because I'd already become more and more intuitive with my Reiki and all of that. But when I did that, it was like a noted difference. It was like, whoa, I'm like really online right now.
And look how she said that word psyche. It's coming from the spinal column. The psychic. The psyche. That's where the mind is at. That's where it's at.
And every step of my journey, I became more and
This-
more psychic. Like when
Yeah.
I first went raw, even though I was eating tons of nuts and seeds and all that, it was like I noticed a huge difference. It was like within a week, it was like boom, I'm seeing stuff before it happens, and it's like really wild. So every time I clean myself more and more, I noticed that as one of the side effects.
So psychic, psychology, that PS, what other word they got? But it's all dealing with the mind. But the mind, the spinal cord is an extension of the mind. You want to be more psychic, and that ain't spooky. Your body's picking up everything in the atmosphere. It is. It's tracking stuff going across the sky. Brilliant. But it's just that the person is so disconnected in themselves, you don't sense it. Why am I not that sensitive? But like you're saying, if you keep working on this and cleaning out this vessel, you will know it. Oh, I felt that coming. I felt this coming. I seen that coming. That's it. See, we ain't even making that spooky. You already got it. This piece of equipment was born here. It was made for this. It loves radiation. It just had to grow into it.
So
Too much radiation too fast is bad.
So that's what causes, like, when they say, oh, you're getting the tumors and the cancer and all that. That's the concentrated, a whole bunch of microwaving and all that stuff. Like
Right on that area,
But
trying
as
to
you-
break it up.
Yeah, but as you keep working on yourself
And all
and
they
stay
know-
away from that,
and all
like
they
even
know
if
is
you
feeding it.
even if you live in a house where this is going on, by you working on yourself, you're the
Oh,
alchemist.
yeah, won't even mess with you after a while. Yeah.
Because your body is taking it and then doing what it needs to do and moving it.
Well, yeah,
And
there's
just-
some energies that are not harmonious to the body, right, to the biosystem, so it doesn't feel good. Like for me, when I hold my phone, it doesn't feel good to me. But it's kind of like what I was saying earlier with the diet. As you get cleaner and cleaner, you can pretty much eat anything and not have those effects.
Mhm.
The same thing with energy. I believe, because I know that's where you are. I'm not totally there yet, but as you get cleaner and more tuned and all of that, the energies don't affect you as much.
Yeah, because even like when I get X-rays, like they jump behind a wall, like they'll leave the room and take the X-ray.
Yeah,
Put a lead thing on your chest and all that stuff. So I'm just like, that gotta be harmful then. If, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta put a lead vest on me and you leave the room and take the picture and come back.
And nobody's arguing. See, we
Right.
live in a realm full of radiation. Even natural radiation, which is radon, would kill you, and nature produces it.
Mhm.
Let's be clear. You don't live in a friendly universe if you don't know what you're doing.
Mhm.
Friendly meaning you got to protect yourself. Like the sun is radiation.
Mm-hmm.
Once your body starts feeling uncomfortable, you're getting too much radiation.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just using common sense.
Mhm.
But as you grow, I gotta say it to people. This one guy was like, I've been talking about the sun being radiated. So he's standing in the sun hours at a time thinking that's going to, you know what I'm saying? People take it too extreme. We're not saying that. You're breathing in radiation, which is light
Uh-huh.
right now.
Right.
That's the which is spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Put them all together. We're talking about you're going to be a light being. That sounds so nice, don't it? But you're going to be a radiation being.
You know, one small question. I just thought about it because you said when you're outside and you get too much radiation because they don't feel good, you'll go in the house. I was telling my wife what you were saying about, and I've heard it from scientists and different people. They said that the sun wasn't hot, and it's just the vibration basically and how the energy does what it does. That's how our bodies interpret it as heat. And she was wondering, she's like, well, how do we get suntan then if it's not hot? Where's the tan coming from? But I was like, that might be a too deep scientific question. But I asked, but I just remembered it because you said something about.
But I ain't the one that told you that the sun wasn't hot. So you gotta go ask some people.
No, you're saying that like when we were talking about, you said our
But
bodies.
since it's more visible, if you're directly under the sun, something's actually pushing on you.
Right.
Now when that sun goes behind something and shade comes along, that means that something else blocked it, so it ain't push on you as well.
Right.
See,
Because you're saying it's vibrations that
That's
our
all
bodies
it is.
our bodies is picking it up. Yeah. So our
so
bodies
something's
is picking
there
it up.
pushing it, you just
Maybe
can't see
jiggling
it.
your body too.
Right.
This is what we're dealing with.
Right.
Oh man. And even if we was to cut on and off these lights, you will feel it on your skin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It pushing it. So you're always living in a realm of stimulation.
Mm-hmm.
Should we say that? Always being stimulated. That's why they say the highest, how should we say, the highest sense is a feeling sense. You're feeling your way through the universe. You're basically blind. No, I'm not. You only see a small fraction of visible light. Everything else is visible. Just for you to hear something. See, we take it for granted, but that sound that's coming from our voice is traveling through this medium to make contact with something on your body for you to hear it. Oh man, this is something, ain't it? This sounds so prehistoric, don't it? Tell you, just a big machine. Oh man, you're just learning how to align yourself with this simulation, and you can get more out of it. Did we say this? If you're here, these are antennas, pores in your skin, everything doing something. But it's all working with energy first. And what is chemicals? Energy. It's at a more denser level, but it's still the same thing. Oh man, that's why they always talk about purity, dealing in religion. You just, what? So you can work better with the subtle forces. See, even if you don't know the subtle forces, they still make a contact with you. That's something, ain't it? That's why the more you start feeling more expanded, is when you clean everything up. You're going to feel it. Hey, will I? Will I? Keep working with it. Yeah, you will. Oh, man. So now y'all ready for some meditation? We gotta go get charged up again. That was a lot of energy. Take about a 5-minute break.
Sounds good.
The murder was still going on, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
Can you feel it? I can feel it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
cannot.
Still going on.
I should, yeah.
We rolling, man.
Yeah.
And I got a great frequency of when I get around
Okay,
it,
drop
especially after
I'll
meditating,
airdrop
they
it
just
to LA Tower, and then he can.
the lights go on.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I
It's
mean?
not
And
recording,
it's
it's
like,
just
it
Sure.
makes it so that working with the electronic, or the page flips from one to another.
When the student is ready, the teacher shall appear.
Or I just got a new power cord and then it stopped working, so I get another one, and then the other one starts
See
working.
what she's saying? We actually do affect electronics all the time.
Take care.
People don't know that.